Hello there, Rabbi. I have a good problem for you, and I wonder if you have the answer. I'm crossing my fingers. In the news today and in the news yesterday, and pretty much if anywhere you go in time, history, family, society, you're going to hear an argument about money. I don't know why the budget is so bad. The federal budget, why is the government having so much trouble managing their money? My father to my mother, why are you having such difficulty with all the money I give you to spend on groceries? When I'm a person by myself and I look in my wallet and I say, I can afford this, I can afford that, I do pretty well. But when you get a group together, all heck breaks loose. Why is that?
And think of a family as a group, because when a group gets together, all bets are off when it involves money. And in relationships, when you would ask someone what's the biggest problem or what causes the most discord in a relationship, many people will say it's sex, and it isn't. It's money. And money management is the number one source of discord in a relationship. And you're spot on, Joe, because individually, I can look at my needs, I can look at my wants, I can look at my budget, I can look at my wallet, my credit, and I can make a decision. But now when we start adding one person, two people, 10 people, a country, a county, it's because different people have different priorities. What we're talking about is not money so much, but lifestyle. And we're talking about priorities. And therein lies the problem, is getting us to agree on what are the priorities.
Well, we tend to vilify people who say we shouldn't give more to charity, or we need to take care of, you know, number one first. And that's not always a bad thing. It's very easy to criticize, where is your charitable nature? But there is the other person saying, we only have so much and we can't let everyone starve because we're trying to take care of too many. Debt comes into play when people try and become too charitable. Uh, but at the same time, there's excesses and selfishness. And what is charity versus what is necessity versus what is luxury? How do we pick between those?
I think there is a very simple solution. First, let's stop villainizing anybody. If somebody says we're spending too much on giveaways, on welfare, whatever word, in fact, even the words make people to villains. We start talking in language that makes them a villain and us the hero. That's a place to start. Let's stop using language to make someone the bad guy.
And we have to acknowledge that this is a very oversimplified response to a very complicated problem. So, how do we survive when we know sometimes we're spending money that we don't have?
How much do we have to help people that are caught? And I want to separate people who are truly caught in a situation and those that put themselves in that situation by not working, by buying things that weren't necessities. Hate to say it, but alcohol and tobacco are not necessities. Snack food is not a necessity. So if people are spending their money on Chazarai, I have no interest in supporting them. If people are working and having trouble making ends meet, that's a category that we need to look at and say, how can we supplement people who are working, who are managing their budget, and who aren't spending their money on Chazarai? I think that's important. And I think that's an important distinction to make. Our state is not a role model. The Commonwealth is not a role model. The federal government is not a role model. And can we expect our citizens to spend and behave if we don't have a good role model? We can look at our government and say, this is how it's done, then I can do it on my own. And that really is the solution, is a role model. And that we need that, Joe. And we need that from our politicians. They have to be our role model, not an embarrassment.
Well, at the risk of repeating myself, Rabbi, I know one person who we could put up that would solve a lot of our problems, has all the answers, and is always a source of good advice. So, what are you doing in 2024?
If asked, Joe, I will run. I'm just waiting for the phone to ring.